Blood Shinobi is here, bringing What If Naruto Was a Prodigy like Itachi Part 16. But before you get the recap or the intro, I was just wondering if you guys, most of you here that are subbed are just here for the What If Naruto Was Seducted by Tsunade, or if you actually like my content. I was just asking because I haven't got much views on a bunch of things lately. Takes a couple of days. Well, I see you guys are busy and all. So yeah, just scratch that. I was just wondering. So what are we here for? Okay, so in the recap, Inari and Konohana's rivalry started up and Naruto promised to train Konohana. So this one is basically going to be the start of that. And then the start of Naruto's next mission, which next part should start the tune-in exams, but that's for that. So let's go in with the intro.
Turning to ashes, when do we burn away? Used to be oh so close, now I see you.
Naruto was standing next to Inari. He had found out how Guy and Lee trained, so he had to add it up for Konohana. He's going to send him through a harsh training resume, making sure that he is the fastest, strongest, and smartest out of the group. He's got a shadow clone in school for the next 2 weeks. Naruto will enjoy beating the shit out of Konohana while training him to be a strong shinobi. Naruto stood there. Udon was gonna come, but he said something about he can't get up this early and he'll see Konohana in school. So that's what he's doing. He's gonna see Konohana. Konohana's clone at school at least. Naruto chuckled to this. He stood there next to Konohana. Let's start and let's begin, said Naruto. Konohana, with his weights that Rock Lee wears now at a Genin stage, couldn't even take a step. He just fell over. Naruto took his time. You're gonna have to get used to those weights, right? Because that's all you've got. For you'll be wearing them until I say to stop. This surprised Konohana. He didn't know what's going on. But Naruto was being an asshole to him. He wasn't letting him do his own type of training. He wasn't letting him take control of himself. No, he had to follow to Naruto's rule, Naruto's training resume. Naruto just chuckled. He knows what Konohana is thinking. Konohana was pushed up by a clone who dragged him to his feet. He stood up. About 10 clones started rushing in, hitting Konohana. Konohana was getting the bulk of the hits. He couldn't even dodge, he was just getting hit. They'd move next to him and try getting Konohana to, move a bit, but he couldn't. Konohana wasn't doing anything, he was just still, and when he'd fall over from a hit, he'd be picked up by Naruto's clone again and again. This went on for the first 4 hours. Naruto just looked at him. Konohana, after the second hour, had finally had enough and pushed himself to start moving around. He took one step, and then another, and then another. Naruto's clones threw about 10 shuriken each. Konohana just dodged them. And the ones that were about to hit him, he pulled out a kunai, hitting them, sending them away from him. Naruto was liking the way that Konohana was acting now. Naruto appeared behind Konohana and elbowed him in the back, making him land on his feet, knocking himself to the ground. You think I'd just let you get away and think you're all that tough and could actually do something against me? You gotta be thinking like a dumbass to think that, chuckled Naruto. This pissed off Konohana. He's a Sarutobi, and yet he is the Hokage's grandson. Normally a Jonin would take it easy on him just because of this, but no. Naruto is using that as an Konohana would think he'd use it as an excuse. He'd tell his grandpa grandfather that he told the Naruto that he'd tell his grandfather, but Naruto had heard that all for the past 4 hours, but he was enjoying that. So what, you gonna tell your grandfather? I reckon you won't. You know why you won't? Because your grandfather won't do anything. He knows me, and he knows that I'm training you, so he doesn't care as long as the progress is put in. Kanohunri was thinking, why did I even want to be trained by him? I should be in the academy right now. Then thought clicked in Kanohunri's head. I'll just tell him that you took me out of school to train me, and then you won't be able to train me anymore. Unless after school, I won't allow you, academy, and I won't allow you to train me if you do stupid training like this, said Konohana. Naruto just chuckled to that. Where do you think I've been? You think that my clones have been here? That I've been here? No, it's just my clones. I had a talking with your grandfather when he woke up. And he said that's okay, as long as the shadow clone's there learning. Oh, and there'll be a shadow clone there every day. Because you put that scroll in, remember? Said Naruto. Konohana's gulped. He had set up a clone, so it would go to the academy every day of the week for the next 14 days while Naruto was here. This Konohana didn't think of it until now. Naruto had him do that just so that he could send him through this. Dang it, he played me well, thought Konohana. Naruto's clones had stopped the beating and gave Konohana Shuriken and Kunai, and then he pointed to targets. Konohana threw him at the targets but missed completely. What? I didn't even get one, said Konohana. Naruto just looked at him. Of course you didn't get one. You need to aim with your hand and mind at the same time. You can't just aim straight for it, said Naruto. Konohana looked guilty. Naruto had told him this once before, that he needs to be in mind and body working. They need to be one. He needs to be mentally stable to throw and be prepared to throw at anyone. But this shocked even Konohana. He didn't think this would be this hard, but it is. It's twice as hard as he'd think it would be. Konohana dodged 10 kunai and shuriken coming from Naruto. You're starting to get the hang of moving in them. The quicker you get the hang of them, the quicker I up it, said Naruto. Konohana gulped a bit of this. But after the 2 weeks, right, you'll be taking them off me, asked Konohana. Naruto just nodded. Yeah, and you'll wear them every time we train together. But you'll be wearing similar type of weights, said Naruto. Konohana nodded his head. At least they won't be this happy, alright, he thought. Konohana missed the strike from Naruto to connect to his face, but he missed. He just dodged it, and then a punch slammed Konohana in the mouth, sending him a little bit away. Konohana stood up. Wait, what happened? Asked Konohana. Naruto just shaked his head. You're a dumbass. I told you to always pay attention, but you don't pay attention. You just fight and fight and fight, and then you realize, and then you do the dumbass thing where you don't pay attention and you lose control and your opponent could kill you. Yeah, from now on, I'm going to go for kill strikes, and that will put you in the hospital. So if I was you, I would not mess around, said Naruto. This scared Konohana. He couldn't have this, right? He wasn't going to put him in the hospital, right? Just because he's his sensei. But Konohana gasped as soon as Naruto put a kunai to his throat and slightly went over it. This is how the first day went. Naruto would beat the shit out of Konohana and he would try and get away. And he would only take 2 steps before getting punched. And if he started daydreaming, Naruto would get behind him and slowly tip his throat, having a tiny bit of blood drip with that. Naruto would fix up. Naruto was doing this all day. He got Konohana to see that just because he's the Hokage's grandson, the third's honorable grandson, he wouldn't get anywhere. But no, Naruto was enjoying his time bashing the shit out of Konohana. He had a fist Day 2, Naruto and Konohamaru stood in front of um who is it? They were standing in front of Sasuke. Sasuke looked in shock. You have yours out of school. Mine's in school, said Sasuke. Naruto just shook his head. Oh no, this is a Shadow Clone. I've got the real Konohamaru in school. I wouldn't dare have him not in school, because that's bad influence on him. But you know what? I reckon you should try and hit the clone. Konohamaru turned to Naruto. Can I take the weights off? Asked Konohamaru. Naruto nodded. He needed to see the progress of his speed. And this shocked Sasuke. Konohamaru may have had it just for long, but still. He did something that he didn't expect. He kicked Sasuke, and Sasuke didn't have his Sharingan activated, so it wasn't that hard to not see it. But he kicked Sasuke, and Sasuke, well, chuckled at this. I've seen enough to check his progress, so I've got to improve a lot, I got to improve Inari a lot, said Sasuke. Naruto just chuckled. Konohamaru put back on the weights without asking because he knew that was what Naruto was going to have him do. He just knew it. There's no way in hell that he wouldn't get him to. Naruto's that type of guy, I guess, that needs you to be at your best and no matter what. Inari in school was sitting there next to Mawagi. Mawagi was Naruto's best friend, but since Inari's been here, she took a liking to Inari. He's kind of cute. He's not got that annoying attitude that that boy has that she calls Konohamaru. Udon even likes him too. He says he's better than Konohamaru going around chanting about boss. Now Udon and Mawagi were stopping and they want Sasuke to train them. They want to be trained by the one that trains the cool kid, Inari. He's the coolest here and probably could whoop Konohamaru's ass. He even said yesterday that he could whoop Konohamaru's ass and Konohamaru can't even guard. He didn't even fight yesterday, so they all believed that Konohamaru was weak and scared of Inari. So they decided that it was time they would stop being his friend. They told him today that they are no longer friends. And everyone that was watching Aruka, everyone watched and saw what happened. Hanabi, who thought Konohamaru was a sack piece of shit, wasn't cool, but he's got no friends. She had to be nice to him just so he could have friends. She knew this, but she didn't want to, except that she kind of saw him in a different light just because he lost his friends. There was also something there. She always knew that she'd want to be his friend. He was a loudmouth. He spoke up to elders, and she couldn't. She saw a light in him that she didn't see in anyone else. It was more of a wanna-be friend and help her get over her fear of adults. But no. She was shocked to see that he was different. Now that once his teammate, that new boy came, he wasn't around Mawagi and all that. He was paying attention in class, as if a switch had gone off on him. Maybe because his two friends that he thought were friends were no longer friends with him. Hinabi walked over to Konohamaru. I know that I'm not your friends, and I know that your friends have, left you. I was wondering though if you'd want to maybe be friends with me. This shocked everyone in class. A Hyuga asking a loudmouth if they want to be friends. This surprised even Konohamaru. He didn't take Hinabi as someone that would want to be his friend. But since Mawagi and Udon have decided no because they think Inari's stronger and cooler, that he took the pity that he was getting from Hanabi. And yes, she could make a fine friend and a training partner, definitely with the Jugon that Naruto has told him much about, the Hyuga's fighting style. Back with Konohamaru and Naruto, they were just standing there watching. Dang it. So what did your clone get back? How was school yesterday? With Inari there, asked Naruto. It was break time. It was lunchtime for them as well. You know, the fact that I've no longer got any friends. I mean, Udon and Mawagi aren't my friends because of Inari's being so cool, and I'm just a loudmouth that can't hold his own, and because my clone wouldn't fight yesterday, they made me look weak, and they don't want a weakling as a teammate. So yeah, that's what happened. They don't want to listen to me anymore. They think I'm just a loudmouth. So that's that, said Konohamaru. Naruto just gulped at this. Never expected this to happen. But he didn't take... That's why he looked to Konohamaru. Don't take everything you have for granted, okay? You'll find new friends eventually. Ones that actually care. They don't care about your features. You were the best. You were the loudmouth. You were all this, that. See? I didn't have friends who I became a genin. Except from Shikamaru, Choji, which, you know, I wasn't really the cool kid, you know? I was the weakling. But see, that was because I always had a cloning class, not caring about what I was... They were just there to mess around. Deception is all that it was for. That's all I needed it for. I knew everything they were teaching at the academy. So if I was you, Konohamaru, just do what the training I'm going to put you through, and then you do that every day. Just leave a clone, and you'll be fine, said Naruto. Inari chuckled to this. That would be nice. He doesn't want to put up with people anymore. He's just lost 2 of his good friends, and he's about to lose more. He doesn't care right now, except that he doesn't have friends. He'll eventually get friends, though, he hopes. But he knows one day he'll get them. Naruto turned to Konohamaru. They both finished their ichi ramen. Their 5-minute ramen. And Naruto turned to Konohamaru, time to go train again. Yeah, you told me how hard your life is now. I'm gonna make it twice as hard now, said Naruto. This shocked Konohamaru. He thought that pity would make Naruto not go so aggressive on him, but he guessed Naruto's gonna push him harder. Inari walked out to Naruto. I guess it's time to train again, right? Asked Konohamaru. Yeah, for the next week they did this. They would train and fight. And Hinabi, on the last day of the week, had finally decided it was time to seek Konohamaru out after school to try and befriend him, which she actually did. Konohamaru and Naruto were training in tree walking because it was the first weekend. Naruto was making sure that Konohamaru could tree walk before they go into any other jutsus or chakra exercises. He was not having a weak apprentice. And hell no, he needs to learn chakra control now. So that's what she walked over to see them doing it. She told Konohamaru while she looked at them both. He was faster than what he was in the academy. Faster than Inari and stronger. She saw that he had shadow clones because they were fighting each other. Well, Naruto's clones. They were taking, dummy type things. Clones that had more chakra placed in them so they wouldn't die after one hit. Naruto chuckled to this. This was going to be good. And when Hinabi she was finally noticed, she didn't know what to say to them. I'm sorry for peeping. I just wanted to see if Konohamaru wanted to be friends, since he doesn't have any right now at school. I don't want him to think I'm taking the pity on him, said Hinabi. Naruto just chuckled at this. It's okay. I told him he would get friends eventually, but he never believed me. But I guess I was right, wasn't I, Konohamaru, said Naruto. Konohamaru just looked dumbfounded. Yeah, you were right, I was wrong. What else you gonna rub in my face? That I don't know anything anymore? Because that you do already, said Konohamaru. Naruto just chuckled at this. Of course I do. You think that I would have a weak student? Said Naruto. Over with Sasuke, Milwaukee, and Udon. Well, and Inari. Naruto, Sasuke had them taijutsu battling. He was fighting Inari while Milwaukee and Udon watched. They took Sasuke as their sensei to train him during the weekends and after school. Whenever Inari was training with Sasuke, they were to be there too. Sasuke had decided he'd leave a shadow clone just to help his team, these three academicians train. He wanted them to be Genin level, if not Chunin level, by the time they made Genin. He wants them to do something he couldn't do. Wipe the floor completely with other Genin. He couldn't completely wipe the floor with Naruto or anyone anymore. Yeah, Academy, he was the best. But Naruto had shown some real strength. And that was strength that even he didn't have. He needs his Genin to be stronger. And by the time he becomes stronger, the time they will be stronger. So if they're Genin, maybe Chunin level, by the time that they become Genin, there's no way in hell they'll lose to any Genin. And they'll become Chunin the first time they take their exams. Naruto was not happy. He had heard... Well, Sasuke was not happy. He had heard that Parker was going out to lunch when he asked her to help him train them. But then... No, not Parker, Kurotuchi. Sorry, because I said Naruto before, I got kind of messed up. Yeah, so... Kurotuchi walked over to Sasuke. Hey, Sasuke, she said. Everyone looked shocked at Kurotuchi. What do you want? Asked Sasuke. I thought you were too busy out with lunch with someone. Who were you out with at lunch anyways? Asked Sasuke. I was out with Parker, Naruto's new girlfriend. I told her some things to do that would definitely destroy their relationship, said Kurotuchi. This shocked Sasuke. Hey, he may have been a dick, but he didn't want someone that he probably call a friend's relationship broken. Why are you doing this? Asked Sasuke. Well, because if his relationship's done and then he doesn't have anyone, he'll feel sad and then he'll definitely lose and you'll definitely be able to beat him no matter what, said Kurotuchi. He nodded at this. That's good. He needs to be stronger than Naruto, but he doesn't want to do him dirty. But whatever. Let's go, said Kurotuchi. Said Sasuke. Kurotuchi walked to Milwaukee. Oh, you got a girl to train? Okay, I'll train her. You can take the boys. Sasuke looked shocked at this, but he didn't care right now. He was training Inari and Udon. They were doing their taijutsu. He had seen what Konohamaru's shadow clone could do. He needs to make sure they all learn the shadow clone. Over with Naruto again. He was definitely looking at Parker. He had just arrived. He was happy that she's here now. Hanabi noticed this and gave the smile. She was not something. This was something that she was scared about. She had seen the way that her sister used to look at Naruto, but now it looks at that other boy, looks at someone else. So he decided that he was going to. Damn, and how that means that these guys are in love, and she couldn't believe it. Someone else looked at Naruto that way, that her sister used to. But I guess when her sister told her that she was no longer into Naruto because of reasons, then Naruto had a girlfriend. I guess her thought was right. Naruto has a girlfriend. This kind of upsetted her. He's really strong, and he wants his sister to be strong, but ever since she stopped talking about Naruto like that, she had gotten stronger. I guess determination of not being worthy for the man had changed her. Changed his sister. her sister. Then Parker walked over to him. I'll be taking the young girl at the train if she wants to, said Parker. Hanabi got out of her thoughts. Yes, please. I'd like that very much. I'd like to be trained by my... Oh, well, she turned to Naruto. Can you help train me as well? I see the progress that Kanohanori has improved a lot, and I want to be stronger than that Inari, Prick, and Mawagi, and I guess that they're being taught by your rival of all things. Setting Hanabi, Naruto just chuckled to this. So they left in Kanohanori to go become friends with Inari, and then left me to go be trained by Sasuke of all people. Those little brats, said Naruto. He just turned to Hanabi. Yeah, if you want to. But Parker, I can teach you for today. Me and Kanohanori have to get back to what we're doing, said Naruto. So yes, that is where we leave this part off. So like I said, I just want to know if you guys are just here for the Tsunade one. I'm not trying to impose. I'm thankful for the support and whatnot. And also Omega Dark, I forgot to shout you out. I'm pretty sure that's what your name was. I kind of forgot because I said it was last night. So yeah, sorry. But, I'm going to go now so I don't make myself look like more of a dick.